Hello, everybody. If you're catching the VOD, I wanted to say if you just want to get to the mini painting, I'm probably going to put a link or something, a timestamp in the description or in the top comment so you can go grab that. But I've been told that it's best if I yap for a little bit before we get to the actual mini painting so that people have time to trickle into the stream. So I'm going to give that a go. I don't really have a plan, as is the usual these days. I've got a bunch of paints here. And I'll go grab something. I'll introduce you to the mini in a bit. But first, I wanted to show off something I just bought, which I'm very happy with. This is not a product placement or anything like that, but it is a product, and I am talking about it, but I spent my own money on it. This is a little box that I'm very excited about. It's a lavalier microphone set, and I just had to share it with you because I think it's really cool, and I'm a bit of a tech nerd because I'm a filmmaker, and I went to film school, and I work professionally in film, so that means every now and again I get really excited about tech and gear. And this one I bought because I wanted to try to make videos outside or in other environments, or maybe at a convention. We're thinking about going to Gen Con this year. We've got ourselves a pass, and we booked a hotel room, but we haven't bought a flight. So, because we're excited about going to Gen Con, we figured we'd have to get some microphones for it. And these are really cool. So this is a microphone. Doesn't look like much. Just a little pellet-sized thing. It's barely the size of my fingernails. And how it works is there's a little disc on the back, just like that. And you can slide that disc off so that it's two different products, two different things, right? Then I put the disc underneath. Hang on, I can do it on this side so you see a bit better. Disc underneath the clothes, and this thing on top. And then I've got a microphone on my shirt. All I do is open the box, I grab this little thing, and I connect it into the camera. And it's also got connectors for phone. I got a lanyard and stuff like that with it. Hang on. Oh, it's got like a bunch of emojis in case you want to put like an emoji on the thing. I haven't done that yet. I might. Maybe AB will. Yeah, this is the thing. You can plug it to your phone. It's USB-C. It also comes with an iPhone thing if you got an iPhone. And I would give you a demo right now, but I have no idea when how to connect this into OBS. I'm sure it's possible. I just haven't figured it out yet. But the idea is that then I can walk around and I can go wherever I want, and the microphone is right next to my mouth, and it's all automatic, and it sets the gain and stuff automatically, I think. So when I'm at Gen Con, I'll be able to mic myself up and mic up AB, and then we can just walk around with our camera and go from place to place and pick these things up. I'm sorry to hear that, Bearowl. Yeah, I got really excited about the idea of going to Gen Con because I've wanted to go ever since I got into role-playing games, and I learned that Gen Con exists. This all comes in a bag. It's very nice. Magnus, a friend of mine, went there in 2019, I want to say, and sent me pictures and bought some minis, and that was the coolest secondhand experience that I remember, because I was just observing all of the stuff he was coming up with and sending me, and he was like, look at what I'm doing. I was so jealous. And then I got to know a bunch of dungeon tubers on account of starting this channel, and they were all planning on going, and I really wanted to go, and I think we're going to be able to afford it, so we're excited about giving that a try. See, I was told I have to vamp for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, but that seems like a lot. I could just start painting now, right? Oh, folks, don't be too bummed. I mean, it's not like we're going there with a booth or anything. Like, there's no, if that's why you're bummed. But if you're bummed because you want to go to Gen Con, I get it. That's been me for a long time. Robert says, hey there, found your videos a few days ago and find them super awesome. Thank you so much. Begun shifting my campaign setting notes from OneNote to Obsidian, already feeling more organized. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Obsidian. It's a lot of fun. It makes it really easy to sort of organize your notes, and it's all on your hard drive, so you don't have to freak out if you don't have access to the internet or whatever. If your Wi-Fi connection goes out in the middle of a session, you still have access to everything. It's my biggest fear. If the internet's slow in the middle of a session, I have to look something up. I'm like, oh god. Well, we're now looking into buying equipment because we've got our Patreon running. We got a bit of revenue from the videos because they're monetized. So we're looking into buying cameras and a new microphone. This one's going to stay here, but we're going to get another microphone for the main setup out in the living room. And we're going to be able to, we're thinking like a Rode Procaster. I think that's sort of kind of what we need to be making it at the quality level that we want to. And then we're going to get a tripod, a teleprompter. It's a whole bunch of stuff we need to go buy. And it's going to cost a lot of money. But I think that's kind of what we need to do. Makes connecting world building to session building so much better. Better than alt-tabbing, trying to remember. Yeah, exactly. I used to do that Matt Mercer thing where you write everything on like a Word doc or something, and I printed it out and I brought it to the session. I had a little session notes on paper in front of me, and that was really useful. But you can't Control F paper, and you can't click on hyperlinks. I'm a big fan of going all paper, all non-digital for almost everything. But when it comes to my notes, it's one of the few areas where I think tech has actually made my life easier. So I'm a big fan of all that stuff. God, this feels weird. I'm not used to yapping for this long without actually just starting the thing I want to do. Maybe this is a failed experiment. We'll see. But people are still matriculating in, so we'll give them a little time. What do you all think of the monster manual? Good evening, Lady L. Runehammer fountain pens. Have you tried starting a fire? Well, I mean, come on, that's a bad faith argument, I feel. I keep seeing advertisements for products that are meant to sort of be better utility value than just, picking up plastic and moving it. Picking up figurines and moving them. I saw this Kickstarter for like an LED screen that's like supposed to fit on a grid and has a picture of your character on it and makes like noises if you pick it up and put it down, like clinks and clanks. It was ruinously expensive, and it was huge. It wouldn't fit on a grid either. So, but it was advertised as a mini, and I remember looking at that, going, "What are we doing? What are we doing? If you can't afford minis, just do gummy bears or something." Yeah, Harrison. I basically did the same thing. I was like, we all need to go all paper, and I'll buy all the books or get all the rules we need. I'll get it all printed out or whatever, right? Because I have a laser printer at home, and I'm like, we'll figure all that out. And then immediately I went and put Obsidian on full blast so I can make it maximally useful. I'm gonna introduce you guys to this mini. I have a little setup here. I have a camera just right here. I'm going to try moving over to it. See, there we go. We'll see if that works. But this is the mini. This is the Bearowl. Trying to find where the focus on the camera is. I can manually adjust it, but I'm hoping to not do too much about it. Was inspired by the master manual? Well, that's fair. I really liked looking at all the art. I think the art really was, for me, worth the price of admission, but there were several things that bugged me about it, which, we put in the video. But looking at above VTT, do you play only at real table or online as well? We only play at a real table, at our real living room table. We made a video about that setup, and it took us a while to set it up. And the whole thing is our entire living room, and that's sort of our hobby, and we love that place. But we have played online, and when we do, we use all kinds of VTT or whatever. So this is the Bearowl. We got this sent to us by Dragon Trappers Lodge as a part of a sponsorship. This isn't the sponsored stream actually, which is kind of funny. But I got excited about the minis, and we were gonna get some of them painted for the videos that we're gonna feature them in as a part of the sponsorship. And we're gonna get our roommate Ivar, who is or flatmate, I suppose. He doesn't share a room with us. He shares an apartment. And we were going to get him to go paint a couple of minis, and he painted, he's currently painting one of them, and he's finished painting another one. He's really, really, really good at mini painter. I'm wondering if I have that mini somewhere. No, I don't think so. And we wanted to pay him for his time on painting the mini, since it was a part of a sponsorship. And then he came back and he said, this is the mini I did, and he brought out a miniature, like a medium creature. And it was gorgeous. It was some of his best work ever. And he said, this took me 9 hours. And I was like, oh my god, we cannot have you painting all the minis. So I'm gonna go try and help. But I am not as good a mini painter as he is. So he's already sprayed this one. You can see it used to be gray, but he's already sprayed it with a brown base coat. We bought that as part of getting a bunch of ships done for a mega game we did. So he could spray them all down and pre-base it, so that way there isn't that much work left for us to do. Sorry, I bumped the mic there. Hey Peter, how you doing? Peter and I were just talking on a Discord call moments ago. Peter says he's a firm believer the players master a system better when they must work through a physical book and paper first. Yeah, rather than having a system calculate for them. Yeah, I remember, because I learned how to do Pathfinder all by the book. First edition, Pathfinder. And then we played 5th edition. I got really into it. And then we used, for a couple of adventures, we used the books. But then we basically started D&D Beyond right after that. And then we, some years into it, we went on a cabin trip and I had to make a character by hand. We had bad internet access, and I was working with a homebrew class. And I couldn't figure it out. The knowledge had been lost to me by relying on tech a bit too much. That's my Luddite take over there. This is just my desk, actually. We need to get some paper down. Just saw your interview on Creative Spark the other day. Is that the one we did with Jason? Or the one we did with Dalver. There's another one that we did with Ryan Doyle. Maybe that's what you're talking about, but I don't think that one's out yet. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep that a secret or not. So I've got an Icelandic newspaper here in front of me, and it's the conservative paper. So I suppose, do you want articles talking about inflation, immigrants, or ruinously high real estate prices? These are your options for backdrops here. Real estate? I think real estate is probably the way to go. I apologize if this is crinkling disgustingly loud. Trying my best to spare you here. There we go. Real estate prices. This is going to be a very unstructured stream. Mostly, I just need to get this this mini done at some point. So hang on, where is it in frame? Here. That seems alright. Cannot hear the paper for the most part. That's good. Thanks, Jan. So this is a bear owl. You're all familiar with an owl bear. A bear owl is the same, but different. It's got the body of an owl, giant owl, and it's got the head of a bear. That makes sense, right? It's also standing on this tree, and there is like... Ah, I dropped it. There's like this sort of forest floor here. And I can also see there's a little bit of paper towel wedged in there, and I've been trying to get it out, but I have not been successful. Enoth Strife. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. He's an excellent interviewer. And just a lovely person to talk to. Mark the camera frame on the newspaper so you can have a reference. Yeah, it's this house here. Okay, let me grab a pen. There we go. Oh, I'm shredding up the paper. Might have to grab another sheet. Then you're going to get a Land Rover advertisement. They're not paying me for that. Get the sheet under the other one so it's still ruinously high real estate prices. God, you know, I asked him to spray paint all this brown, thinking I was going to do it as brown, because it's like a brown owl, right? What color are brown owls? I'm assuming they're brown. But they're presumably also other colors, aren't they? I can't Google anything, there's a paper in the way. It's good to Google references. Brown owl. Well, a brown owl is sort of grey. Bits of grey, bits of brown. That's not bad. I've only got 3 brushes. I'm poor, so my paints here. I've got 3 like Citadel paints that I borrowed from my flatmate, but then I've got this. This is from some painter starter set that I got. Game Master, I think it's called. I've separated out these brown colors that we could use, and I've got a gray and a red, and these are some special effects paints back here, and then colors I don't think we're going to need. I got a little raspberry jam jar of water, and this little mug with 3 brushes in it, and that's all I own. I had to borrow the dry brush. Most owls are gray. Stippled white, brown, gray. Yeah. Sorry, you get a little bit of shorts there. I apologize. This is going to be the least high intensity Mystic Art stream you've ever seen. We're barely going to do anything. We're just going to paint a Bearowl. So what do we want to do? Stippled white, brown, gray? I think I want the head to be brown. I think that'll feel the most berry to me. And there is a sort of neckline that comes down to about here. Somebody was saying in chat earlier that painting minis is not like Bob Ross painting; it's like coloring within the lines. We're gonna do some excellent coloring within the lines, and by excellent I mean perfectly adequate. So yeah, there's a neckline about here, and then the rest of it looks a bit more sort of tussled or whatever. Here we got some feather texture on it, and then these wings. Now, I think we should make the wings like vibrant. I think we should get some yellow or white or gray or something in there. Bright yellow, maybe. Is that insane? We got these two yellows here. Elven skin and angelic yellow. Bear owls are, giant owls are celestial now, so maybe angelic yellow is the way to go. I don't know. I don't know where to begin. Hi, Fork. Let me check my mic. Fork's here, everybody. He'll let me know if the audio's bad. Yeah, mic facing the right way. White would be cool. Yeah, I agree. I think we should get some white. Just on the feather, sort of mix it in with the brown. Is that where we start? I don't know. Yeah, why not? The thing with painting minis is that if there is a right way to do it, I'm not aware that it exists, but I'm sure that if I handed this to... There's a board game happening in my living room right now, and two of the people in there are incredible painters. And if I handed this to one of them, they would tell me exactly what I should do. And then they'd be very detailed, and I'd forget all of it. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of white right there. I put my finger in it immediately. That's... Listen, if you thought this was going to be a stream of a capable man doing mini painting, hopefully I have spared you that illusion already. So let's make sure I get this roughly where it needs to be. Does that look sharp to everybody? And then let's just try and get some white on there. See, I'm always a little scared painting white because I always think it's going to make the mini look unpainted. One mistake a lot of newbie painters do that I'm definitely guilty of, but I'm going to try my best here since I'm doing all this on video to not do this, but one mistake a lot of newbies do is they layer it on too thick. And a lot of the time, you don't need all that much. Just a little bit goes a long way. So I'm hoping you're going to be able to see all this. And if there's a rebellion going on in chat telling me they can't see all of this, then joke's on them. I'm painting a mini and I can't be reading chat right now. Okay, I'm going to read chat. Lady L says it'd be nice to get playing at a table again. Yeah. There was a fantastic video by SciShow the other day. It might have just released yesterday, actually, talking about how to schedule D&D. And I really want to make a follow-up to it at some point. Because Hank Green was saying that there is a scientific answer for why scheduling is so difficult, and it's that you have too many players. And there is an ideal number, and that number is different from table to table, but it exists. Basically, the point of that video is that if you play with fewer players, it's going to be easier to schedule. Radical concept, right? But here's the thing. I think that solves more than folks realize. I think a lot of people think, oh, I don't know enough people that I want to play D&D with. If you can find one person, just you and one other person, you can play D&D. You can find 2 or 3. I think some of my best D&D sessions ever, in terms of how much fun I had and how much fun the players had, is with 2 players. Just me, the DM, and 2 PCs. Combat gets faster. Exploration is a lot of fun. Everybody gets plenty of time to shine. And it kind of takes on the shape of a familiar formula, and that's the buddy cop. Buddy cop movie. Each personality gets to become stronger because they are in contrast to another person. And they sort of slot into these fun, dynamic roles. So that's not bad. I mean, it looks terrible at the moment. That's not what I mean. I just mean as an idea of having white wings. I'm just doing the bottom layers. So I don't know if you can see, but there are like layers of feathers. I'm just doing the bottom ones as white at the moment. Speaking of layering it on too thick, I think I'm doing that right now with this paint. You know, if you're watching this stream and you're not playing music right now, I think you're doing it wrong. I'm not going to play any music. Apparently, there's a YouTube library I can use to play music. Sean from Delver was just telling me that, and I didn't know. I had no idea. But I didn't go looking into it right now because I went and got a bunch of paints and got this mini. Too much paint can cause details to get lost. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to wet this brush a little bit. Put it into the raspberry jam jar. And we're going to just put a little bit of wet on the mini. And if you think, what kind of technique is that? Then the answer is, I don't know. I don't know techniques, I just know vibes. Another thing you can do is, if you're freaking out, you just put your finger on it. And that'll get a lot of your big layers of paint right off. Now you could just be a better mini painter and not put too much paint on to begin with. But I haven't learned that lesson, so I'm using this other one. Altor says there's a music stream, 4K Cozy Shop, right under this chat. Seems fitting. That's fun. I did not expect my my boss to come watch me paint minis, but you know, here we are. Hi, Altor. I'm gonna put on some Icelandic music. Whenever I'm feeling especially relaxed, I play Icelandic music. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe if I just play you Icelandic music, nobody's gonna come after me. I don't know. Icelanders in chat, do you think Egil Ólafsson is litigious? Alright, chat. Do I put on music or do I let you guys be your own DJs? Yeah, I've layered it on too thick. I'm gonna try and peel some of it off. So right now I'm realizing that I made a mistake earlier and that I wish I'd put less paint on these. So I'm wetting them and then I'm rubbing them with my finger in the hopes of trying to undo my previous mistakes. I don't know, you know, this just kind of looks terrible. So that's alright. I could now, because it looks terrible, give up and stop. But then I will not have painted a mini. So instead, I'm going to keep painting a mini, and hopefully I will figure it out eventually. Sorry, I'll try and put this in the right spot here. I'm doing the inside of the wings. I'll just sort of bat it on here. Thin milk consistency layers. Yeah. Speckles. I don't know how to do speckles. You know, the favorite mini I ever painted was a copper dragon, because I just layered on bronze layers and then copper layers and then oxidizing green layers. And then it looked like I'd put some thought into it. If you can, as an artist, make something look as if you put some thought into it, you can save yourself a lot of thought. I won't make any judgments on whether or not that's a good thing to do, but you certainly will have saved yourself some thought. Man, these are terrible. I'm trying to get the mic more in front of my face here, because I tend to lean and it's a bit in my... Here we go. One thing I've been thinking about doing, not in terms of mini painting, but in terms of the channel, is getting a player on as a player from my game, and we tell a story of the campaigns I've played, and usually probably what went wrong, but also as a way to sort of talk about my campaigns ending, because I know that a lot of folks have asked for that, and I can't think of a way to talk about it in a way that is fun and interesting as a YouTube video, because our videos just aren't like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, this really does just look like it sort of took a dip in an Icelandic, what are those called? The, like Blue Lagoon, like they have the, Kísill. I just know the Icelandic word. Great product of a beginner is a wash. Yeah, I've got some washes here. We'll get that to hide all my terrible work at a certain point. Let's stop with the white because it's making me feel like I'm bad at this. Hopefully, when we're done, it'll look as if we baked the white into the layering. But I think what I want to do now is I just want to go get some brown, and I want to brush them over so that the fur has like layers of color in it. Is this the first time I've painted a mini? No, I'm just that bad. No, I've done it, this might be my 6th or 7th time. If you want to find like mini painters on YouTube, some of them are really, really amazing, and I'm sure you can find loads of content with people who know what they're doing. So if you're here, I'm assuming that's not because you're here to learn anything, it's because you, for some reason, thought this might be entertaining. So I'm just gonna bend my brush here a bit. I'm just gonna add some different kinds of browns on this. See, now I'm bumping into the mic. There is nowhere the mic can be that does not bother me. Maybe I should have used those lavaliers I was showing off earlier. Okay. You're gonna have to get closer to my mouth here. This is. Then I have to go look over the mic. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Look at that. Absolutely dreadful. We'll get the speckles in a bit. Thank you, Jan. See, that's not so bad. Oh, now I looked at it on camera. Ugh. I keep flicking the mic, and if that sounds dreadful to you all, then I really do apologize. I'm trying to find a place to put this thing where it isn't blocking my view. Or literally in between me and the mini. God. Yeah, I'm telling myself that this is going to be fine because owls are speckled and splotchy and so on. So if it looks all a bit off, that'll just sort of be the way owls are. Man, this is good Icelandic music. I'm actually kind of glad none of you can hear it because I feel like I'd have to explain why I enjoy it because I'm pretty sure it's almost all nostalgia and it's actually not good Icelandic music at all. Mike's very good at blocking anything that's not your voice. Yeah, I believe that's NVIDIA Broadcast doing that. I've got that set up so that it kind of does that. See, these are fine. Why was I bothering with white? I never should have listened to whoever said white. This is all your fault. I'm kidding. A magnifier lamp and a miniature handle. We have those things. We have, well, not a magnifier lamp. See, those are things I probably would get, Sean, if I actually ever painted minis. Only, oh god, I keep flicking the thing. I'm just gonna trust that it's not getting picked up too bad, since that's what y'all say. No, the only times I really paint minis is when the whole like player group comes over. We come over. We do this maybe once a month. Probably less at the moment. I don't think we've done it for a couple of months. And we all bring our minis and we all sit and paint together. And last time we did this was for the mega game, so we all painted ships. These huge, well, huge. You know, probably like yay big ship minis. And that's why we have the brown spray paint, because we could just spray them brown and then sort of have fun with details, etc. See, the white mostly has just made it so that it looks like I didn't base it properly. You know what I mean? No, another light would be good. I could go fetch one. No, we have a painting handle. We have like a big, I just don't know if we have one that fits this mini. I could go check. But right now I'm going to keep putting different browns on this owl. God, I painted my mic a little. Don't tell anybody. I painted the mic again a little. You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again. Here's my thing. I'm just gonna make it different browns. I think that's what I've discovered. I'm gonna try. Let's get the raspberry jam here a lot closer. There we go. There we go. So you can. Oh, that's terrible. That blocks your view entirely. I think the white will be fine once you give the mini a wash. Yeah, you're probably right, yeah. See, what I should be doing is I shouldn't be layering these wets on. That's terrible. I should be dry brushing it. If you're here to learn how to mini paint, go watch somebody else. Seriously, if your takeaway from this is whatever I'm doing is the right way to do it, you are wrong. It's rare to see straight up white in nature. Everything's usually a shade of gray with warm or cold tones. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know what? I'm gonna go paint the tree stump. I have bare brown here, which is probably what I should have started with. You know what I didn't do? I never made a plan. If I'd made a plan, maybe none of this would have happened. Here we are. Ooh, this one's all like gucky and yucky. These paints I bought, I don't know, during COVID. So they're all probably a bit borked. Restart time. Oh yeah. Now that's making sense. Yeah, what was I saying? Does that interest you? If I get my friends on that we played with and we talk about campaigns we've played, is that anything? And we'll recount the stories of the sort of things that went terribly wrong, so there will be some lessons in there. And it'll be the whole campaign in one sitting. It won't be like per session or anything crazy. It'll just be, you know, that time we played Curse of Strahd and how I really, really, really messed it up. I got my arm there a little. Thanks for joining us, lady. See, board game? You're interested in that? We could do it as a live, so people could ask questions. That might be more interesting. Then there's at least, you know, questions we could answer. Oh god. Hang on, I'm gonna get a light because I can't see anything on this mini. So I'll be right back. I have supplies. First off, I have the light we use when we're filming the videos. Wham! Right? You put it at a less blinding setting. There we go. And put it so that it's sort of, you know, in contrary to the other one. It's cool. It's the coolest light I've ever seen. And now I have this jar I could put the mini on, but I think that would make it out of frame. Yeah. And it's no smaller for me to hold, so I'm not going to bother with that. It's too big for the mini holder, sadly. Oh, but then you guys can't see anything. If it's coming from this direction, but that's where all the other things are already. Yes, perfect. That's great, right? I don't know. I really need it to be here, basically. This is why this light is great. So it's like a... This is what makes time travel possible. Anyway, we can go like that. And then we have a little column here, like a little lightsaber. Now I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Orc. Yeah, I don't think we're ready for a second channel. I don't think that's anything I'm thinking about at all. But we could do it like on the Patreon and just have it um, on there. And then we're not cluttering up the main feed either. Yeah, this is better visibility, right? Now you can see how messed up the white looks. Right. Yeah, speaking of the Patreon, we launched the new class on Thursday alongside the Monster Manual video. Put up the Warlord, which is a lot of fun. I've been playing a Warlord in Magnus's Odyssey of the Dragon Lords campaign. And I'm like a Roman-style centurion. I was the or a Greek or whatever. I was the strategos for the King Acastus in that campaign. And you know, the party consists of all these sort of Greek hero characters, right? And then it's my job as the commander to highlight them, right? So I'm not the main character as the commander. I'm sort of their cheerleader, basically. I'm like, hey, Sparta, you should do this. Hey, Oriana, you should go do that. Hey, Ceres, you know? Give them attacks, I give them reactions. When they miss, I go, hey, you can roll again. Spending my insight to do it. We futz around with making classes, subclasses all the time. We have a lot of fun with that. That tree is not bad. Missing a spot? Yeah, we futz around with that kind of stuff all the time, but the Warlord's the only one we really sort of finished. We finished it a while ago, and then we just had to do some finishing touches. We were going to launch the Patreon, the Adept tier with it. But we needed to do a little bit of editing on it. Just some last minute stuff. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad tree trunk. Honestly, I should be just hitting the base with it, because eventually I'll go over the base again. And I'd rather be cautious on the base and have already covered my bases, with the tree trunk. So I'm gonna just do that. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Mr. Kmusiel. Colors will blend, and then we'll touch it up at the end. Good thing about doing a brown base coat, especially with a spray base, is that if I miss a spot now, it won't be gray. It'll at least be brown, and it'll sort of fit with the general vibe of the owl. You know what I mean? The Bearowl. How much homebrewery? Fork asks, how much homebrewery do you do on the monsters in our campaign? A lot. I homebrew monsters all the time. I'm gonna homebrew this. I've done a video where I homebrew a snap block for this guy, and it's very basic. You know, I don't actually go spend hours designing monsters on this thing. What I do a lot of is sort of mix and match stat blocks together. I'm gonna have a little drink here, but I mix and match them together a lot. And I get a lot out of that. I get sort of good bang for buck, basically. Slurp. Yeah, sometimes I just open two monster stat blocks and I run them sort of at the same time, and I know, you know, I'm using this from that monster and this feature from this other monster, and the base stats are this stat block here. What is this? Baneblade Brown. Wow. I had some Dryad Brown here as well. This is the let's paint it all the browns. Paint on the tip of the nose. That's no good. You know, with monsters, I often find that I'm remarkably happy with just sort of a slapdash application. I know this is something mini painters talk about. They talk about the idea that you have to just sort of get it good enough that it's fine when it's on the table. You know, if you're just doing a monster like this one, it's going to last for a couple of rounds. It's not going to be there on display. You know, when it's not being fought, it's probably going to live in a box somewhere. So don't get too caught up in making it perfect. Just remember, it's only going to be there for a couple of rounds, and you're going to be watching it at 3 foot distance. So just, you know, paint with that in mind. There's this concept in architecture. My friend Mike told me this when I was in London. He was showing me around. It's called string coursing. And it's this idea that when you're designing a building or whatever, you in London, the London architecture, they design the building so all the detail and all the heavy architecture is on the bottom, all the columns, the big rocks, And then the building gets lighter the higher up it moves because it's further away from the eye. Because most people who are out on a walk or whatever, turns out they're not 5 stories tall. They are the size of a human. So they're looking at the first story, maybe the second story. If they're looking at the third, fourth, or fifth, they're sort of peering their eyes up at it. You know what I mean? So just design the house so that it's prettiest at the base level. Then you worry less about everything else. So, the inside of these wings, I'm just slapping the paint on here. I'm mostly trying to cover up the white globs a little. And then I'm hoping that the wash will take care of the rest. Is this dry brushing? I don't know. I don't know. This is trying to get the job done brushing. But here's the thing, I'm not really that good at painting because I don't do it that much. And if I did it all the time, I probably would have gotten better at this point. And there's only one cure for that, by the way. It is not to be born with more skill. I'm not sure I believe in that even. The only cure is to do it again. If you watched our quantity over quality video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just have to get your reps in. If you want to be better at painting minis, the only answer available to you, the only solution available to you is paint more minis. And paint them more often. And slowly but surely you'll get good at it. And maybe this is the start of that. I doubt it, because I barely ever have enough time to actually sit down and go paint a mini. And one of the main reasons I decided I was going to do this one is because I thought I could make a stream out of it. Even if there'd be less interest than in a regular stream of ours where we write something. Can I bribe you to answer a specific question while painting? If you want to support us, you absolutely can. If you want to ask a question, you can also just ask a question. I'll answer it. The two are not related. What are you thinking about, Charles? Ah. I may have slightly painted my copy of the Lord of the Rings books that are currently holding up the God, this is tough, you know? It really needed to be over here, camera-wise. This is what I need. And my hand has to slot in there. There we go. This sure is many brown colors. I was going to get some white in here, wasn't I? Maybe I should just dry brush the white. But that's sort of what I've been doing with all the browns. Let's try this really light brown. Wow! Thanks so much, Charles. That's really appreciated. A, you give some good advice on what to do, but what are some things you would recommend against? Or B, what movies or series do you recommend people watch as inspiration for ideas or storytelling examples? I'm going to start with B, but if nobody else asks a question, I'm obviously answering both. Plus, you gave me $20. I'll answer all this. Thanks so much, by the way. This is really going to help with equipment costs. One of the main things we're trying to fund these days. Oh, wow, this is all gross and lumpy. Let me try and shake it up some more. One of the main things we're trying to fund these days with the Patreon and the reason we have Super Chats open at all is because we're trying to buy new equipment. This is all borrowed, and we don't own any of this stuff we're using. Well, we own this microphone, that webcam. But we're slowly replacing it with our own equipment. And that means that we have a lot of stuff to buy. Plus, we're going to Gen Con. So, hang on. What movies or series do you recommend people watch as inspiration for ideas for storytelling examples? Well, it depends on the genre of what you're running, but also on what kind of themes interest you. I get a lot of inspiration from The West Wing. I've talked about this a bit. West Wing, I think, provides a bit of insight sort of politically on, specifically like imagining people complexly, right? I think that's sort of one of the main themes of that show is that there's often motive behind the various things that are going on. But sometimes watching something unrelated gets you excited to embrace a certain kind of silliness. I was watching Air Force One for the first time. If you don't know about Air Force One, it's what if Die Hard was on an airplane, and by the way, John McClane is the president. It's a lot of fun. It's a very goofy movie. And I was watching that thinking, man, I really look forward to running an adventure where there's just not a lot of moral complexity. I look forward to running an adventure where there's a bad guy and he's gonna take a plane hostage and we're gonna go throw him off the plane. Right? But if you want to like fantasy or sci-fi, yeah, thanks. See, if you want fantasy or sci-fi or something that's gonna inspire you, like world building, if you haven't watched Arcane, you probably should. That sort of got me thinking about my campaign setting and what its magical revolution or industrial revolution or whatever it might be like. I'm watching Severance right now. Severance, I think, is a good example of how themes work in stories. Oh, Sasha, I'm sorry. That sounds terrible. That sounds absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah. I hope you can live a little vicariously through me trying my damn best, but I assume your feeling would probably instead be that you could do it better than me. To which I would say, yeah, probably. But yeah, if you haven't seen Severance, Charlie, you should go watch that. Oh, but here's why you should watch West Wing. One of the best characters is named Charlie. If more people watch West Wing, if that's all that happens as a basis of this stream, even if it's one more person, this is a success. What was your first question? You give some good advice on what not. What would be advice on things you recommend against? Whatever you do, make sure your players are the heroes of the story. I don't even mean that they can't be bad guys. I just mean that the story requires them. They are the protagonists. I think a lot of things people complain about actually boils down to the players weren't the heroes. Somebody says, I have an issue with high-level NPCs, and I'm like, I think you have an issue with not being the hero. I think knowing that Mordenkainen exists and he doesn't care about your problems, I don't think that changes anything about D&D. See, I'm almost fixed all the white just by sort of splotching in different browns in here. I'm hoping the different browns kind of bring it all to life. That sounds awesome, Sasha. Have you tried Microscope? That's a lot of fun. That's sort of that same idea. It's a collaborative like world building game. It's what if world building was a game. Actually, we had a lot of fun doing it. We did it as a part of a time skip. The characters had gotten to like ludicrously high level, and I wanted to sort of skip through this last war, but I wanted to play sections of it, but I didn't know what sections I wanted to play or what was going to happen in it. So we all sat down and we played Microscope. And then they told me what they were excited about, and then I made that into a campaign. Or like each, so they were like, this is a thing that happened. And I was like, awesome, that's an adventure. We're going to play it. That's not how Microscope works, by the way. That's, Microscope is like you'd play with index cards. It was a lot of fun. I should do more of it. You can Google or go on YouTube and search for Yogscast playing it. I think they did a pretty good game of it. Another thing that I don't think you necessarily should do is like, well, I don't think you should like railroad, but I don't think railroading means what a lot of people think it means. A lot of people say railroad and they mean the opposite of a sandbox. And Matt Colville had a video that went viral talking about railroad as in the opposite of a sandbox. And he later made a video clarifying that that's not what he was talking about. The issue of the railroad video, or the issue in the railroad video, is that the DM, John, doesn't take his players' options or feelings or anything into account at all. But he can prepare an adventure. Nothing wrong with having an adventure ready. But if your players want to do something else or want to solve things their own way, you have to let them. Railroading is when you decide this is the problem and this is the solution and this is what you do next. Experimenting with leaving all the solid details, general theme, starting level up to them and creating content between the lines. That's cool. That's really cool. Brown. You know, this is fine. Treating these brushes badly, but they're my brushes, and I'm allowed to treat them badly. This guy a Bearowl? Yeah, it's a Bearowl. Is that cool? This mini, by the way, was given to us by Dragon Trappers Lodge. They make minis like this. They make weird ones. This video is not sponsored, full disclosure, but they are sponsoring 2 upcoming videos, and one of them I was going to use the Bearowl in, and that might come out this week or next week. Sorry, next week or the week after. And I needed to get it painted, and so I'm painting it. So that video is sponsored. This one isn't, but this is the Bearowl. This is they make really cool minis. So we're just happy to be able to shout them out. They have like a Patreon where they sell these things. You can also get them on Etsy if you don't do 3D painting. That's what we did. We just sort of got them shipped through Etsy, given to us for free. Again, just wanted to get full disclosure in here, but we think they're really cool. We got a whole bunch of dope minis from them, and we're so excited to use them. I'm definitely going to have this thing sweep out of the air and go snatch the smallest party member Let's hope she's not watching and didn't just hear me say that. But she might be. What did the brushes do to you, Daði? Hi, Thrawn. Nice to see you. I bought them during COVID, and I've only used them like 5 times, so... At this point, the money I spend on them doesn't feel real to me, you know what I mean? Sorry, doing the Bearowl butt. Bearowl butt time. Get the light up the butt. They say the sun don't shine there, so I brought a light. Yeah, Jan, exactly. My main game right now is a huge sandbox. It's a big hex crawl adventure, and it's a lot of fun. But I frequently run adventures where we are only playing for a few sessions. And there is a linear story. There is a bad guy, and there is a beginning, middle, and an end. And the middle is the longest, and it's the most player-driven. But the start is usually a part of the buy-in. I tell them this is what we're going to be doing, and I hope you enjoy it. And the end is determined by the players throughout the middle, but by the time we get there, it is the end is the end is the end, you know? Yeah, it's not bad. It's just a bunch of different browns. We should get the yellow in here. See, she is in chat. Is that a promise? I don't know. I might go for the lightest party member, which could still be you, but it might also be the skinny little scholar twink. Let's hope he isn't watching, and then I can surprise him with it. But I've been so mean to him lately, so maybe it's time I'm mean to you instead, Anna. Drink time. Hang on, where's OBS? I lost it. There it is. I'm fine with it. Haha. I always appreciate when a player makes the canonically smallest party member. I'm like, you're the easy prey. Whenever the beast monsters come out, they're gonna scoop you up. Exactly, yeah. Well, it's good that we have one moderator in chat, because I know that Magnus is abroad, and I'm assuming he's not in here. And I know that Salka's in my living room right now with AB, and they're playing a board game. Alright, let's get some yellow on this thing, right? I'm terrified of getting the yellow on there. Maybe I should just go do green on the base while I tell myself that I'm not going to do yellow on it. I think the yellow might be good as like a proper dry brush pass. And risk ruining everything, basically. Alvin Green. Yellow's tough. Yeah, I think so. A frog, 2 foxes, a mouse, and a squirrel. Are you playing Humblewood, board game? Is there a frog in Humblewood? I don't think so. No fear, only confidence. It's the way to do yellow. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Kellen. We'll do it. PPG is a Dracolich. It's a thing for eating people. Blimey. Oh, is this just empty? I think I need to go get some green. Yeah, I backed it. I backed it on Kickstarter. I got the physical book. And I got a whole bunch of minis. Jan asks if I'm willing to elaborate on the fact that I'm a writer and that I work in the games industry. I've mentioned this in some stream, but basically I'm not really talking about it at the moment because one day soon I'm going to be able to tell you guys a whole bunch. And I think you all would rather wait until I can tell you a whole bunch instead of me sort of telling you a bit now and it doesn't really tell you anything. But I can talk about it a little. I'm a professional writer and director. In my day job, I make cutscenes basically. God, yeah, this is just empty. I make cutscenes. I work with actors and I do digital cinematography and lighting. So if you're ever watching a cutscene and everything looks really pretty, the reason has a lot to do with lights and environments and art and stuff like that, and camera and lights and camera. That's me. Thrauen asks, where do I recommend getting minis? He finds the Nexus section a bit scarce. For anyone here, Nexus is the only nerd store in Iceland, and it's probably one of the best nerd stores in the world as a result. It's really good. Hey, Doran. Nice catching you live. I'm a big fan of the collection in Nexus. I bought a lot of the loot boxes. I know I probably shouldn't. That's bad for my wallet, and often I'm disappointed, but sometimes I'm not. We get really into the Warhammer minis. That's a different section in the nerd store, but we get a lot of juice out of them. And then and then we get some online. We get a lot of fun out of, like, you can get a lot of Kickstarters that are like selling huge mini collections. If you're okay with backing that and shipping that in, it's a bit expensive if you're Icelandic, obviously, but that's where you get the really unique minis and you get to have a lot of fun. Like the Bearowl. I'm gonna go get a green. I'll be right back. Until then, there's gonna be a little screen here. Yeah, so when you gotta check out the Warhammer section. We go in there, we get really nerdy about the Tomb Kings, the orcs in there. They're really cool dwarves. Sometimes we'll find like a cool mini, and that's what we want to run instead of finding a cool monster stat block. We find a cool mini, and then we're like, we're gonna run this, you know. Yeah, no worry. Yeah, Jan, we might, but I'm also perfectly happy talking about it just a little and then elaborating later. So let's try and get a bit of green on here. Now I'm gonna be okay slapping it onto this little ringlet. Hang on, I thought I was showing. Wait, what? Okay, getting some of it on this little ringlet because I'm gonna go do a special round for it. You know, if Ivar were doing this mini, he'd put like tufts of grass and stuff on it. Okay, I'm just gonna grab the bear by the head. Got the tree stump. Tree stump. You know, we all knew that was going to happen, but I was hoping it wouldn't. Generic wrath enemies. Yeah, Skaven, yeah. Yeah, Doran. It's we've been very fortunate. There are so many people making awesome videos on this platform, and we're obviously happy that we found an audience, but we're also very aware of the fact that there was no guarantee of anything like this happening. So we just count our blessings and we make sure that we have some cool stuff to show you all. Even if in this case it's just me trying my best to not ruin this mini that a sponsor gave us. What if I dry brush a little black or gray on the underwings to create a sense of shadow? Yeah, that's smart. Is that something I do before or after I dry brush? I've already dry brushed a bunch, so maybe that's an arbitrary distinction. You know what's fun about painting minis, and this is a lot like game development, is that it's an additive process. You know, there are so many things you do where it's not additive. You know, if you take a picture, you go snap. That's your picture. And you can go and bring it into post and you can try and touch it up and stuff, but the picture is already taken. You're just adjusting it, right? But with mini painting, every step you do brings you closer to a finished mini. So that is a lot of fun. See, yeah, you know, I thought this green would be a bad idea, but actually I kind of like it. Yeah, Doran, thanks. Yeah, I think I have to do the wings yellow. Just seeing a little bit of color on this and suddenly I love it. And I think that means I have to do the wings. No, I haven't checked out DC-20. I know that it's a part of that sort of wave of games that came out around the OGL. Uh, the thing is, I'm sort of I've already bought the game I'm playing, and I mostly am enjoying myself with it. There's a lot of people on the internet who tell me that I shouldn't, but I'm mostly enjoying it. That doesn't mean that I don't think people should go try DC-20 or anything like that. Those games all look cool and they look like they're a lot of fun. And if you're enjoying yourself, don't let me stop you. Like, more games are better. Like, just have fun with your games. Like, I'm not trying to police anybody. Unmuted slurp. Yeah, exactly. You know, we were familiar with our game, and you know, I've gotten a certain level of system mastery with it. I think I could basically sit down and write down the player's handbook with my players from memory. Not alone, with my players. And I think we'd end up with roughly the same book as it exists. And I think that basically means that we know it and we like it fair enough. We have plenty of nitpicks with it. There are plenty of things that I wish were slightly different, and some of them we homebrew at our table, and some of them we don't. Alright, full confidence yellow, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Oh, too much confidence. Too much confidence. Reel it in. Reel it in. We got some, like, blues in here. Is that crazy? What is a psychedelic Bearowl? Yeah, Doran. What happened is that I sort of got into contact with a bunch of these folks. Did you know there are secret servers where all the D&D tubers hang out? Did you know that? Not a lie. It's full truth. No, it was a lot of fun. We been talking with a whole bunch of these folks and made some friends, and it's been lovely. They've been very welcoming. I know I'm the new kid on the block, but they're very nice. They're very friendly folks, and yeah, there's definitely going to be more of that in the future. One thing we're currently working on, this is top secret. Don't tell anybody. Is that we're going to do a dungeon jam. A whole bunch of us are going to go make dungeons, 5-room dungeons. That's going to come out sometime in May, I think. And it's going to be, you know, sort of like browsing an old vinyl store or anything like that. You know, you could flip through the 5-room dungeons. It'll be like a playlist, you know, with just a whole bunch of 5-room dungeons in it, and then anyone can go and play those. And if you're a dungeon tuber and you're watching this video and you were like, "What? How come I haven't heard of this?" Go send me an email and I'll be in touch. It's going to be really cool. That's something me and Paladin Pros cooked up together. Paladin runs this channel where he's talking about all kinds of stuff related to D&D. He's been doing it for a while, and he's got some spectacular videos, including one in the 5-room dungeon, which folks should check out. if I had access to my keyboard, I'd put it in chat. But if somebody goes and looks up Paladin Pros and puts it in chat, I might have to approve it as a message, but I could do that. Sasha says, I've never created a single contiguous world for TTRPGs. I always create new worlds. What's it like creating adventures for a single world? It's kind of amazing. It's the thing that keeps me coming back, is that these adventures are all happening in the same world. You know what? I like the color. I know it's a bit brazen. And it might be a lot, but I like it. We get a huge kick out of the fact that, you know, when you play a character, that character might come back at a future adventure and might be a friend or might be an enemy, or maybe you meet somebody who's a bit antagonistic, but you make a friend out of them. But they benefit a lot from that tenuous alliance you formed with, you know, a maybe not so good NPC. And now as a result, they're in a more powerful position. So in a future adventure, they might show up. And they're now in a more powerful position because you put them there. But you're not playing the same character, so you don't have that friendly relationship with that NPC anymore. That's a lot of fun. There's purple here. We're not going to put purple on it. That's a bridge too far for me. There's Kraken Blue and Mermaid Turquoise. Which should I dry brush on the Bearowl next? Kraken Blue or Mermaid Turquoise? Yeah, I relate to that, Sasha. For me, the one world is like 50 settings. It's every place is different. And I can build a whole new world and then just connect it to another world. And I get a huge kick out of that. And then we can visit them sort of in context. But I understand if you find that not to your taste. D&D's, you know, there are no two games alike. No two tables play the same game, even if they're playing the same system and the same adventure at the same pace. They're not playing the same. They're not playing the same game. Seems two people who said mermaid, so it's gonna be mermaids. I talked about my sort of approach to this with Delver, Sean from Delver, on a video he made called "Making Worlds." So you go check out Delver on YouTube. You can see that, and we're talking about the fact that he's of the same mind as you, Sasha. But I talk about the fact that the way I run, you know, this adventure or that adventure, they might not be connected at all, but they do happen in the same overall campaign setting. But they might not have any connecting elements. But then elements from this adventure and elements from this adventure have connecting elements to this other adventure, which has connecting elements to this other adventure, and then they connect. You know what I mean? And slowly but surely, you've built out an entire world. No, we're just gonna put this on the wings. This is a magic barrel, so the wings get to be weird. If you're thinking that's crazy, you can't do that. If you buy your own barrel, you actually can decide what you want to do. But this is what I want to do. Yeah, I'm digging the blue too. Now I kind of want to go get that white again. Yeah, it's a Bearowl. Like an owlbear, but Bearowl. Ooh, I went too ham there. I'll try and fix it with a brown or white dry brush or something afterwards. Yeah, I did too much here. But that's alright. Just a little happy little accident. We're gonna put a wash over it all? Yeah. Yeah, we'll wash the whole thing. What about silver? Hey, Sasha, yeah, that's the way to go. Absolutely. It's fun. It's a different set of time zones than I think we normally get. Oh, I got a bunch of paint on my brush. Thought that might be fun with a Saturday stream. We get different crew coming in. I think I have a silver. Gray undercoat. Wash. I have deadly iron. That's not silver, but it's pretty close, right? "5:41 a.m. Assuming you're staying up late. This one empty? Might be. I might have to put you guys on pause one more time. Our most sporadic stream. Oh my god! Did any of you see that? It just exploded. Like, it's just a huge explosion. Oh my god. It's on my shirt. Well, I'm glad I didn't put on a dress shirt for this. So, none of it got on the fancy DM screen here. A couple of balls here, to mix up the paints. But other than that, it seems that we were mostly spared. Luckily, I have a rag. I was just washing up the desk earlier. Let's try and save the desk here while we're at it. God, it's all over the place. Not the shirt. Yeah. Well, it's my summer shirt. It's not a big deal. This thing is oversized as well. It's it's like 5 sizes too big. Tom Barrow. Yeah, you're right. That's what I should have done. I should have just gotten it right off like that. There you go. Fixes a lot of it. Thanks, Tom. Prepared with cleaning supplies. Yeah, since the desk was in frame, and I was like, I'll go over it once. Oh, hey, I got the metal paint out. If you can hear excited shouting and screaming, that's from the living room. I believe the game of Clank is going well for AB. Let's do another spot remove here. Listen to our friend Tom. Do you see we're a pro painter? Do you do like commissions? Is that how that works? Yeah, this really makes him pop. Good shout, Sasha. This is brilliant. We call her AB. Her name is Anna Birna, which is an Icelandic name, but some people just call her Anna, or Anna. But I call her AB, and so do my friends. I think I'm going to go one more just over everything with a brown dry brush to sort of lessen. Right now it's a bit too psychedelic for my taste, so I just want to take it a little bit down. Plus, I've been told layering is good, so we're going to layer. Yeah. Yeah, and we'll make sure to get the snout in there. Is that a copper bird? No, it's a bear owl. Look, it's got a bear head. It's like an owl bear, but it's a bear owl. You see, now I understand why you'd think copper bird, because it kind of looks like the wings are oxidized. So we're definitely going to go right now, and we're going to dry brush it brown again. First time I saw her, AB, she was eating a Baby Bell cheese at the same time. My wife grabbed a bunch of Baby Bell cheese. She was very confused. Yeah, she'd just come in from watching a movie, I think. So she needed a little snack. Let's try and go over it now with a bit of brown here, just to sort of dim out the psychedelic nature a little bit. Have you seen that meme of the spaghetti? And it's like, you dry the wets, you wet the dries, you dry the wets, you wet the dries. That's a lot of what mini painting is like, actually. At least my mini painting. Maybe Tom, the professional mini painter, will tell me that I'm wrong. But all covered in silver paint right now. That's fine. The show must go on. Even if I wasn't streaming, I wouldn't stop. I have a Bearowl to finish. That's a good tip, Buffalo. Yeah. Buffalo's completely right. I think I'm getting to a spot with the wings where I feel like I can kind of stop and we can go do a little bit of detail work. I think, I think once we wash this, it'll be alright. These I want to take down a bit here as well. Swing. Yeah, that's cool. Not a fan of the silver on his face. Oh, there's just like a splotch of yellow there as well. We're going to get rid of that. There we go. Might have used that brown today, yeah. Nice looking brown. This is Mornfang brown. Wrap that dark tone and go to town. Yeah. Let's get... Hang on, let's do a little bit more brown dry brushing there on the base. Just to get that sort of earthy ground texture in. And then I'll have to... Oh, that's too much. Way too much. And I wish Charlie had asked us more questions so we had more to talk about. Just noticed this is not a giant eagle. No, it's a Bearowl. Bearowl. Can't put it down there and that'll make the whole base silver. I nearly drank the paint water. Tasha is asking what the common type of alcohol is in Iceland. Beer is very common, or popular, I should say. But the more correct answer I should be saying is brennivin. Have I heard of the slap chop technique? I have heard of it, but I could not tell you what it is. Thrawan's in chat. Thrawan could type out brennivin if he wants to. Do I have any preference for paints? I used to buy the branded D&D ones at Nexus, but they don't have them anymore. Hey, if you can afford it, the Warhammer Citadel paints are really good. I think they're Warhammer. I mean Games Workshop. Yeah, Games Workshop. These are really good. They really don't get any better, but they're fairly expensive a bottle. Well, here's the Deadly Iron bottle that exploded. Let's not put any more of that. Some Discord somewhere is going insane on me. It's the work. It's the job. I'm gonna close that real quick. If my boss is still watching, I'm sorry. I'll get back to you in a second. Let's get some Orc Grey on the rocks. But anyway, thank you, Throne. If you're looking for a cheap option, however, I think they still sell these at Nexus. Game Master or whatever. They're fine. If you're a novice like me, you probably can't tell the difference anyway. I guess that's my tip for alcohol as well. If you're just, if you're a novice, no use buying the most expensive wine or whatever. Or I smoke cigars on occasion, and whenever I'm sharing cigars with people, I give them the cheap ones, because they really can't tell the difference between the cheap ones and the really expensive ones, so... Why should I waste the expensive one on them when I could enjoy the expensive one by myself, selfishly? Hang on, I missed a bit on chat. I've got a bit of mix of those and squeeze bottle ones, but I'm trying to figure out what the best one is. Some feel too thin. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know much about mini painting, but I know the Citadel ones is the ones all of my mini painter friends swear by. Slapchop is very good for painting minis fast and good quality. Lots of good tutorials on it. Yeah, I might look into that if I find myself in this position again, but I'll be honest, I don't intend to make a habit out of streaming myself painting minis. But I figured I could do one on it. In case there's somebody out there who's not aware that there are channels on YouTube that do this stuff. There are, and they're all better at it than me. Because they've done more time. This isn't me fishing for compliments. Look at this mini. It's a mess. I just mean they've done it more, and therefore they're better. If they'd done it more, and therefore they were worse, that would be concerning. But they've done it more, and they're better. Charles asked a question. Advice and specs, I believe, is essential when starting a channel. Hey, if you can get your audio sorted, you are better than most of the channels already. These microphones are like prosumer. I got it at a local electronics store. They were not that pricey. Comes on an arm, and the good thing about the arm is you can get the mic all up to your face. If you have a condenser mic, the mic wants to be close to your face. You can have it further away and boost the gain, but that strains the microphone, and it produces audio banding in bad quality. That's why whenever you're watching one of the Mystic Arts videos, this thing is all the way up inside my mouth, like it is right now. That allows the microphone to set its gain lower, because this one's automatic. When it does that, you get crisper and higher quality audio. If you have a good PC, like a gaming PC, then I would recommend you download NVIDIA Broadcast. Because it can use your graphics card to boost the quality of your webcam. Like this one, I've got a blurred background, but that's all done in post. Or not in post, but it's done live, but it's done with NVIDIA Broadcast. These rocks look alright. I'm going to put some color on the base here, on the base of the rim. If you want a quick mini painting tip from somebody who doesn't know anything about it, but looks at a lot of nicely painted minis, doing a little bit of work on your base can elevate the whole thing, because it looks like you pay attention to details. Even if you don't pay attention to details, just remember, do a little bit on your base, and it looks like you pay attention to details. Let's get a red on it. I got a neutral red over here. Otherwise, Charles, you can go pretty far with the webcam if you get the right one. That one I have is a little bit pricey. This one is a bit crap. But this one records in 1080p and does 60 FPS. And then, to finish it all off, even if you buy the most expensive camera you can get, if you don't have any good lights, it looks like trash. So just get some lights. If you cut down on your camera budget a bit and spend it on good lights, you're going to get a long way there. This one here, I remember, was for 5,000 Icelandic. Which is like, I don't know, price of a video game or something, right? This is the key light in all the Mystic Arts videos. I put it a bit away from my face and it gives me a pretty good even light. Then up there, you can see my glasses. I've got a ring light behind this one. And then obviously if you seen the videos, you know that in the background we got like LEDs and stuff like that. Even if you don't have those, just starting with a good key, an LED with a nice soft light profile. Soft as opposed to hard, meaning the shadows, it makes your face look a little better, a little prettier. Helps with the vanity. Try hitting the rocks with a black wash and super delicate khaki dry brush. Okay. We're going to do the wash all in a bit. I'm going to leave the wash until last, and I'm probably going to just drench this thing in it to try and hide my lack of skill. But we can do the khaki dry brush once I've done the base rim here. So yeah, audio should be your top priority. You obviously need video. But if all you spend money on camera-wise makes it so that you don't spend any money on lights, you're screwing yourself over. Lights matter. Now, if you live somewhere sunny, not in Iceland, you could just use the sun. Peter from Tales from Elsewhere films all his videos at daytime because the sun lights the room real nice. But I think you'd be a lot happier if you just put a little bit of thought into how you're going to light this channel of yours, Charles. See? Just immediately sort of makes the whole thing a little... Where'd you buy that light? This one? This light here? That ring light, this microphone, that webcam, it all came from one trip to Elko when the pandemic hit, and I was like, I want some gear to make me happy because I'm a gearhead. I love audio, video, tech stuff. So this one cost 5,000 at Elko, that one cost 10,000. The webcam I think was 15, the microphone probably about 7,000. Those numbers sound insane to you, and that's because Iceland has monopoly money, and that's how we do all our business. Alright, that's fine. Hockey dry brush on the rocks. Remember what I was saying earlier about this being an additive process? We're always just adding a little more. Callum, you're the second person to ask me about Slapchop, and Tom, I think earlier, was telling me that I could go look it up, but I'm not going to do that on stream, so I'm just going to continue on, because I don't know how it works. I know that it exists, I'm just going to do it the way I know, because that way I get this mini done, and I can film some B-roll of it, and then I'll be done. I'm going to use this ancient bone instead of... I don't have any cocky Citadel minis, unless I go for another mini run. Yeah, Obsidian is really good at that kind of stuff. Homebrew, and I know a lot of people... this is the wrong color I should use. I'm going to use the Dryad Brown instead. I also wanted to say that on the Patreon, the Warlord that we made, we just did that in Word. I can give you a little sneak peek of it, actually. Stand by. I'm going to show you a little bit of the Warlord. Not going to spoil the whole thing. If you want the whole product, come by our Patreon. Join as a Mystic Adept. Yeah, I need to open up. If you want the whole Warlord, you can join as a Mystic Adept, and you can get it for around $10. Wah. Ah. This year we did in Word. The cover page, granted, I did in Illustrator. But this is just Word formatting. It's not super fancy. But you can actually get away with a whole bunch in it. You can do the sort of second columning. You can set your header styles. You can pick your fonts. And if you just spend a little bit of time on it, you can usually get it to look kind of nice. If you're looking to publish it, obviously. If you're just doing it for your own homebrew to use at your own table, Obsidian is great for it because it hyperlinks everything and you can just click on stuff. But if you want to sort of format it, you can go this route. This is the Warlord. I'm not going to go into all the subclasses, but you can have a little look at it here. You can see it's got the sort of core traits up top, and then we got a little table here. And as you start out, you get your military insights, which are your sort of actions that you can do, like reactions you can do in combat. You can help your players get their reaction back, or you can use evasive maneuvers. You can tell them to, increase their AC if they get hit, or make them attack or reroll their attacks or whatever. You pick a command style. This is kind of like the cleric now gets two different sort of modes of being a cleric. You can be a proactive commander or an analytical commander. You get a battlefield order. You tell your friends to attack. You get fighting styles. Pick a subclass. Subclasses are really cool. The tactician is my favorite right now. It's awesome. You get a whole bunch of abilities on it. You get extra attack, and then you can always swap your attacks to battlefield order. So basically, you have a bunch of attacks, and then you can tell somebody, hey, now instead of me attacking, you attack. And this way, it becomes really tactical. If you're the warlord, you get to sort of be in this headspace of going, is it better if somebody else attacks right now? And if the answer is yes, you go, okay, instead of me attacking, you're rogue, why don't you attack, right? You're going to get your sneak attack on this. 1 extra sneak attack for the round. It's crazy good. Or you can go, the paladin's in position. Paladin wasn't in position last round because the bad guy's running around as legendary actions or whatever. But right now the paladin's in position. Get the paladin smite. What's the main difference between this and the Battlemaster? The Battlemaster is fighter first. A little bit as a subclass, it's the tactics stuff. This guy is all tactics. All of your stuff is related to tactics. You're also a martial, but that's more secondary or tertiary, right? The Battlemaster has a maneuver. They can do a limited number of times where they attack and somebody attacks. This does it all the time, right? It is if it is tactically optimal, you can always choose to use a battlefield order. Or, if you're level 5, when you issue a battlefield order on your turn, you could spend 1 insight to allow a target of your order to make 2 attacks with their reaction instead of 1. You can only do this once per turn, but at 11th level, you can do it as many times as you want. Right? So, me playing my 14th level Warlord right now in the Odyssey game, where we're all heroic, we're all like Greek heroes, my turns as a Warlord, sometimes I run in, I do a bunch of attacks, but sometimes I realize that it's better for somebody else to go and wail on the bad guy. So I go battlefield order, make 2 attacks, and then I give you your reaction back, and then you make 2 more attacks. And then I don't have any more insight to do. I'm out. I went Nova. But oh my god, that the one optimal, the fighter or the monk or whoever is in range or in melee can suddenly do 4 attacks on the bad guy on my turn. That feels awesome. That's so cool. Anyway, back to painting. There we go. There's a little ad break. I hope you accept that. This is available on the Patreon for Adept tier members or above. Why do I keep saying above? There's no above. If you're an Adept tier member, you can get this and the firearm rules. So if you want to be a warlord with a gun, go buy the Patreon. No, I should do it with a khaki. I was wrong not to listen to whoever told me to do that. Yeah, right. Exactly, Eli. It's a full support character, but they also hit like a truck. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's cool, Fork. Yeah, I remember you were talking about this in the Discord with Magnus. Actually, can we do a little bit of dry brushing on the tree stump here? I just realized I hadn't done that. What's a color I should dry brush the tree stump with other than brown? Oh, caught it. Oh, I painted my mouse mat. You know what? This has been the most destructive stream I've ever done. That's fine. What if I dry brush it green, like there's moss on it? Does that make any sense? Yeah. Yeah, Cookie Dude. Let's do green. I'm not showing you anything. I'm holding it all wrong. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Stipple the green. Don't know what that means. I'm sorry if that's sort of like doing splotches. I did a bit of that. There we go. Syncing Obsidian to Google Drive or GitHubbing it? Oh wow. I don't know. I don't know how that will work. Mine is just on Dropbox. That way I've got it synced on all my devices. Because I do pay for Dropbox. Let's do the snoot. The boopable snoot. Poke it with a brush. Thank you, Buffalo. I appreciate the faith, Charles. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Infamous is Izanagi. Hey, that means so much to me. That means so much. Are you running the game right now? Have you started? Poking these things. I stick my thumb in there to sort of lighten the dab. Oh, that's terrifying. Give it like these pitch black eyes. Ugh. What a spooky guy. Alright. Let's do the claws and then we're gonna wash it. Can you see? Yeah, you can see what I'm doing, right? It's good. It's good that one of us can see what I'm doing. Apologize, I'm not talking. I'm really focusing on getting these claws right. Got the tree there a bit. That's, you know, I might be able to live with that. Look at that. Claws. Let's get the teeth as well. I apologize, you won't be able to see me doing the teeth. Well, you might be. Oh, you've got the other camera. Yes, I should go to sleep. It's Neon Banuni. You think it looks okay? Yeah, let's, can we get it on here? It's more representative on this camera. It looks like a better mini because this is a better camera. Wash, yellow dry brush. Do we ditch the yellow idea? I've already put some yellow on here, but we could put yellow on it again, actually. Putting a bit of black in its mouth. Hello. Yeah, I like the way the wings look. Yeah. Look at that. Keep getting more silver on my elbow here. Hey, go for it, Buffalo. Oh, thanks so much. Thank you. That means a lot to me. No, nothing means more to me than hearing that people are watching these videos and then as a result they're running the game. And I'm not saying, no, you didn't say that exactly. Well, you did. Oh, wow. Okay. You know, that sounds fantastic. I'm proud of that. Put a little red in its mouth. There we go. Forest camo. Yes, that's what it is. Yes. Yes, that was the plan. Oh, I got more silver on my chair. God. Dickens. Let me just yeah, great. Fantastic. Don't look at me. Neon Turtle and Neon Banuni. They always come in pairs? Let's all watch Daði clean up his paint mess. Let me just tear a bit of paper. And just sort of, yes, very good. Plaster that on the corner. I think we're ready to just wash it. We can have a think about the yellow dry brush after we washed it. So if you've never done a mini painting before, welcome. I dread to think that you're using this as a tutorial. That would be bad for both of us. For you, because you'd end up with a bad minion. For me, because it would hurt my ego. But I've never done mini painting before. There is this thing called a wash. Shadow wash. I also have flesh wash. Thanks, Jan. Thanks so much. We really appreciate that. I think we're going to be able to buy the camera, the new camera, this month. I'll make sure to put it on the Discord for y'all to see. So a wash is like a paint, but it's wet. And what you do is you go very gingerly with it, and you just sort of put it on the mini. And it sort of acts as a shadow, basically, going into all the cracks and crevices, and it kind of darkens the whole thing. Like 3D glasses. Right? Ooh, I put too much? Sometimes when you're painting a mini, you just have to remember that when you wash it, it's probably not going to be as bad as you thought it was going to be. I really should have brought a wet paper towel, then I would have gotten less on my fingers. Do you need to join to donate? No, I think you can. I think if you're interested, I think you can just put a super chat on. I welcome you to go join the Discord, which does require becoming a patron or a member. Need more. Ooh. Did I get some on the mic? Fun. Oh my god. Oh, this is the Deadly Iron bottle that blew up. Hang on. Here it is. Really gonna drench the base in it though. Hello. Hi. I'm almost done. They finished the board game. That's fine. I don't have that much left. Thanks so much, Jake. You know, I really appreciate hearing that. So honestly, I think the happiest we've ever felt with the channel was the first time we got a comment like that. I was heading to bed and I saw a comment like that, and I remember just this, I don't know, cheesy little sentiment on my end. I was just feeling so happy to know that we're able to help, because I know that a lot of people, they start DMing and they want to start DMing and they just can't get themselves to do it. And they're anxious about the whole thing and it all seems impossible. And or they've been doing it for a while and they don't feel like they're not making any progress or whatever. Sometimes you just have to hear it from another perspective or try something different or whatever. Change your whole perspective on the whole thing. I put way too much on it now. I'm just going to try and get some of it off. Thanks for joining us, Trauen. Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Kmusiel. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Try and make sure we do right by all you folks. Get some good equipment in. And if you're coming to Gen Con, then I look forward to seeing you there, because I think we're going to go. I think we've got everything, except plane tickets right now. We got everything else set up. God, you folks are so nice. AB does enjoy drinking gin. She doesn't, what brand or mixers? Henderson gin is her favorite. I know she particularly likes the Moon Henderson thing. Which mixers? Well, there's not a lot of different sort of tonic water, but there's I think Fender something that's here in Iceland that we can get, that we get a fair bit of use out of. I know that she always buys when she gets the opportunity to. There we go. I think we're just about done. Just in time with the board game as well. Yeah, Todd, you really are late. We're just wrapping up. Thank you, Mr. Kmusiel. How do you want me to pronounce your name? Come usual? Anyway, let's see if I can't show this to you all on the big camera. Let me get rid of this key light here. What? Here you go, Todd. You just get to see the finished product. Wow. Look at that. Roar. The wings. I'm very happy with the way these wings came out. Oh my god, thanks so much, Fork. Everybody who's just a member now, come by the Discord and say hi. Look at that. If you want to see beauty shots of this thing, that'll be in an upcoming video when I homebrew a stat block for it. Sorry, I'm trying to do this all in reverse. But it'll be in an upcoming video when I homebrew a stat block for it, and we'll give it the usual beauty shot treatment, so you'll be able to see this monstrosity I've painted and then slathered in probably way too much shadow. Hang on, let's make sure I'm in focus. Whoa. Oh. There we go. Is that sharp? There we go. Whoa. Yeah, I'll try to do better on the next one. I love how shiny it is right now. Yeah, it's probably too shiny. Try and get a bit of it back onto my fingers. Maybe Eva will want to do something to try and touch it up, but anyway, I don't think there's anything else to say or do. So I believe that's where we'll pick it up next time. Thanks so much for watching, and hello. I'm just doing the outro. Oh. It's like the video. Yeah. Hey, it's AB, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this, then go ahead and let us know by liking and commenting. This channel is run by me and my girlfriend, and if you feel like supporting us, then you can consider becoming a channel member, and you get access to our Discord, where we're fairly active, and there's a huge community of people willing to talk to you about all kinds of dungeon mastery stuff. If you want to be even more supportive, there is a new class out on the Patreon. It's the Warlord for Adept tier members, and if you're feeling especially generous, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when we release new videos. So until next time, keep studying the mystic arts.